So in this video we're going to look at the number system, the getallenstelsel, and this is quite an easy question. There's some theory related to it, but other than that, this is really an easy question or questions. So the first question they usually ask you here is between which two integers does whatever lie. So in Afrikaans tussen watse twee heelgetalle lê die volgende. Okay, so between which integers does something lie? Alright, so let's say they give us root of 24. Now, I need to know between which two integers does it lie. So remember, integers, heelgetalle, are numbers greater than, or not greater, but numbers that are positive or negative with no decimals. Okay, so it can be minus 20, 5, 420, whatever, as long as it doesn't have a decimal. That is what a integer is, a heelgetal. So the easiest way to do this is to go on your calculator and say, put it in the root of 24. Then it will give you 2 root 6, but we don't want that. So then you press your S to D button and it will give you 4, whatever. Now the only number you care about is the number that is in front of your comma. So if it's 4, it means if I count what comes after 4, obviously 5. So it means that the root of 24 lies between 4 and 5. Now how you would write it in steps is obviously have root 24 in the middle. Now you actually have to go down and find a perfect square. So by perfect square I'm going to ask, okay, is 23 a perfect square? No. Is root 22 a perfect square? No. Perfect square means it doesn't give you any decimals. Alright, the root of 21? No. The root of 20? No. The root of 19? No. Root of 18? No. Root of 17? No. Root of 16? Yes. Why? Because it gives you an answer of 4. There's no decimal there, meaning this is the perfect number. So this is the root of 16. And then you're going to go higher as well. So what is the next one going to be? After 24 it's going to be 25. And then yes, 25 is already a perfect number. So it means that the root of 24 lies between the root of 16 and the root of 25, which gives me 4 and 5. Alright, please make sure in which direction your inequality signs are pointing. It always points to the smallest number first and then to the greater number, the bigger number. Alright, so this is really not a difficult question. If you get stuck, use your calculator to guide you, but what I showed here is the actual way in which you must do it. But yeah, you don't really get marks for your steps. So if you can, write this. If you struggle, just write your answer so that you at least can get 1 or 2 marks instead of 0. Okay, let's just do another one. Let's say they ask you for 210. Same thing. So I'm going to put 210 into my calculator, press my SD button, and it gives me 14, whatever. The only number I care about is the 14. So it means that the root of 210 lies between 14 and the next number will be 15. Alright, so that's the one question I can ask you. The next one here is also scientific notation. Okay, wetenskaplike notasie. Okay, so scientific notation, wetenskaplike notasie, is also supposed to be quite easy by now because you've been doing it since grade 8. Alright, but remember, it's always going to be one digit, your comma, the other digit, times 10. If it starts with zeros, then this is going to be a negative number. If it has the numbers for example 3, 4, 5, and then the zeros, then it's going to be 10 to the positive number. Okay, so one number, the other numbers times 10. So let's say they give us 0,0000134. So I need to get one thing in front of my comma. So the first number I have is this 1. So where does my comma have to go? My comma has to go just after it. Okay, there I put the red, because it's one number and then the rest. So it means I'm going to have 1,34 times 10. It starts with zeros, meaning it has to be a negative number. And when I count, my comma was here, so it moved 1 spot, 2 spots, 3, 4, and 5. So it's going to be 1,34 times 10 to the power of negative 5. Okay, let's say we give you 0,0000179. Okay, firstly, I go and see what's my first number. My first number is 1, so my comma has to go in there. So it's going to become 1,79 times 10. There's zeros in front, so it's going to be minus. And then I must count how many places did my comma move. So it moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spots. Alright, if I give it the other way around, so let's say they say 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Same thing, one thing in front of my comma. Oh, so it has to go in there. So I'm going to write it as 1,34 times 10. It's going to be a positive number because my zeros are at the back. And then I just check how many things are after my comma. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. So it's going to be 1,34 times 10 to the power of 6. Let's say they give you 1798,000,000. Okay, how many things can I have in front of my comma? Only one. So I need to put my comma in there. So it's going to be 1,798. And when I go and count how many things are after my comma, remember it's a positive number because the zeros are at the back. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's how you do scientific notation. Now the last thing here is you need to know your number system, meaning you need to know what is a non-real number. Okay, 'n nie-reële getal. So a non-real number is a number that doesn't exist. Alright, it doesn't exist. There's no way, it's just not. So the most common one is when you have a square root and you have a minus in the square root. But to check yourself, if you get confused, take whatever you have, put it into your calculator. That's why you have a calculator. And then as soon as your calculator says math error, it means, this thing doesn't exist, so it's a non-real number. Then the one you love getting confused between is a rational number and an irrational number. So 'n rasionele getal en 'n irrasionele getal. Okay, so rational versus an irrational number. So the main difference is a rational number has 3 or less decimals. So hy 3 of minder desimale plekke. An irrational number has 4 or more decimals. This is the key thing. So rational, ir means it's not rational. So ir means it's not rational, is when I have 4 or more decimals. Alright, so let's say for example, they ask you, obviously they just give you the numbers, it's easy. But sometimes they tell you, okay, let's say x is equal to 2 plus the root of 2, let's say a, 2a, alright? Now they tell you, but a is 12. Get the value of x. Kry die waarde van x. So, what is my a value? My a is going to be 12. So So in my equation where I had a, I'm now going to put a 12. So it's going to become x equals to 2 plus the root of 2. Remember your brackets. And then you put your 12 in there. Okay, so there's my 12. I put that into my calculator. And it gives me 2 plus... let me just work it out here quickly. Okay, it gives you 2 plus 2 root 6. And if I get the decimal of that, it gives me 6,89897, whatever. So now my first question is this real or non-real? Well, obviously it gave me an answer. It didn't say math error, so it has to be a real number. Is it 'n hele getal? Anders sou my sakrekenaar vir my gesê math error. Now comes my question. Is this rational or irrational? Well, the fact that it doesn't have a set pattern. Okay, firstly, there's more than 3 decimals, alright? It's repeating. But then you must just always check, because remember, if it has a pattern, okay, so it's constantly repeating the same 2 digits or 3 digits, then it's a rational number. But there's no pattern here, meaning that this is going to be irrational. Irrational. Okay, let's do the same one. So I gave you x is equal to 2 plus root 2a. And now let's say a is equal to minus 6. So now I'm going to take into a's place, I'm going to put minus 6. So it's going to be x is equal to 2 plus the square root of 2 bracket minus 6. I put this into my calculator. And I see, oh goodness, it says math error. Okay, it doesn't exist. So what is this going to be? It's going to be non-real. If it's non-real, it cannot be rational or irrational because it doesn't exist. So it is ni real. Alright, so make sure you know what is a non-real number. Know what is the difference between rational and irrational. Know how to do scientific notation. And know how to find the between which the integers a root lies. These are very common questions they always ask in your exams.